My life to date. We're going down memory lane. And I've been doing some detoxing, so I've got a great moustache, so bear with me. Just setting my device. And I'm going to show you some photographs. Disability doesn't define me, but the system does. United Kingdom, so unfortunately the police will not catch. They're turning everything onto me. I knew they would do that. I found out this information today on the 3rd of January 2019 now, that an email, my friend really looked at it and said, well, I knew this would happen, and the individual, what he stole from me, I won't get back. So this is for you, Mum. So memory lanes. So I'm going to turn the camera around. So this was in our late house in Cornwall, United Kingdom. First black and white TV. I was young. She used to make my old clothes. What year was that? My mum's handwriting. Black and white photographs. So this is what my late brother gave me. I didn't know my mum had all these. I always used to eat peanut butter sandwiches, and we lived in a beautiful part of United Kingdom in Cornwall. Don't know St Austell, go and check it out. Well, I don't know what's right now, but beautiful. And she used to make all our clothes. So young. And did a lot of walking in them days. I was absolutely stunned that she had all these photographs. And that's where I get my photography interest from. So you might see me with my hand and outside, it's because I like photography. And I used to take photography with my kids when little. We used to travel around when they were younger. Well, they're now the adults. But yeah, so that's like, I must get the DNA bug from my mother of photography. And this is a beautiful hot summers. I think this was in the late 70s. I had one of those hot summers in Cornwall. I got a funny joke. Well, it wasn't funny, but they took the pee out of me. And my mum used to make me wear these jeans. Oh my goodness me, in hot weather. Used to really affect my skin. Sensitive skin ever since. And she did give us really good grounding. That's the one thing she did. And I don't know what age I was in that black and white photo, but we had all our chores to do. I don't know what age I was. I always had curly, dark hair. Don't ask me why. My mum always used to say to me, I might go back to dark hair. But then hairdressers all these years ago, when I used to do modelling, used to say to me, I used to model, first modelling job was Weller Hair Company years ago. And they said, they bleached my hair from black, really dark brown, to pure bleach white before the hair straighteners come into fashion. And that's when I stayed blonde. That's why I went blonde. And I've had a few different colour blondes, but my mum's put a number saying I was about 12 there. So, and yeah, and this shows what my mum, I think, I don't know what items there, but she was always into Avon. And what was stolen from me recently, and no, I did not lose that, because you can't lose it off your shoulder just like that in your coat. But my mum was always into Avon things, and she used to be an Avon rep even all those years ago. And the old wallpaper and the old doorknobs and the electrical lights on the wall. What year was that? She just put my name on the back of it. And my lovely good teeth. We used to grow our own food in the garden at the back of the house in Snowstorm. Everything was homegrown. Where would find that nowadays? This was the very best friend. The only thing I regret moving from Cornwall is missing Heather, my only best friend I had at the time. And I was in the church, the Mormon religion at the time. And I left. There's personal reasons why I left. But that's me and the jeans. And that was a beautiful, pure blue water. And that was down in a place called, if you Google Earth it, she used to come with the walks. We had she had relatives with dogs. I mean, I've got pictures of her when she was younger, and we were very close. And the families knew each other. So this is for you, my late sister's birthday, which she doesn't want to talk to me anymore, and I wish she would, but I just put differences to her side. There's no point holding on to grudges. And this is my late sister Sharon, and her beautiful wavy. She had always long wave. I really loved her hair because she had the length, long wavy hair. My mum used to make all curtains, and my sisters picked up the talents of my mum. Very intelligent and talented woman. It's because her husband works, she's able to run the business she's doing, and I admire her. Stitched by craft, needlework. She is so resourceful. And it was thanks to my elder brother, Doug, who taught her about business as well. She's got a tough life, and I know certain things I won't go into, but I admire her, even though we don't see eye to eye anymore. And we did our chores. Who does that nowadays? And see the old radio. Even those days, we had the old bottles of the old radio. By the way, I found that old radios are more reliable, battery operated ones we had, than the modern technology. And look at the bowls, they don't change much. I'd like those version bowls nowadays, not what they do now. And yeah, if you couldn't grow your own potatoes, you had non-GM, GOM type potatoes. And I remember my mum making that dress for me. And that's why I get my needlework. I never picked up really needlework. I think I resent it when I was younger because Mum was teaching us all the skills she could do. My mum was so skilled, and she used to do commission work. And when she became a member of the church, because she had 5 kids and just herself, and she had trauma time herself as a kid growing up. And so that's why she did what she did. But obviously the chores and the list for 5 kids, you had to do your chores, and it did give me a good standing, but I didn't appreciate it as I got older. It's only till you get older, and your own kids are growing up that you appreciate it. And then obviously the loss of your loved one, you think back to things. This is the one I was really impressed that she had still of me. It was in the kitchen, and that was can you see the material of the curtain? And she used to make the clothes, and the old-fashioned sewing machine. She used to wash our clothes, and we used to help out with the old-fashioned washing wringer. And I wish I still had that old flower, but I've still got those colours. I don't know why it seemed to. They're not fresh flowers. I can't do fresh flowers. They are ones. But I know what my mum. But yeah, my curly hair look. I always caught the tan. All these years, I've always, when the sun was out, I used to catch the sun very good on my face and my arms. Don't know why. But that was a lovely one. This is when we moved up to this guard. And from my former church family. And that was a lovely, I just love nature. I've always been into nature. But now I know obviously why much more. But you could tell by the year that was done, the late 70s or early 70s, all of the clothes. And I think that could have been my older brother doing photography. So when my mum was ill quite a lot in the 70s, I won't go into it all then, but she's going through a lot personally. Things happened, and I won't go into that personally. But my older brother was the one picking up pieces. And of course, as they got older and moved away, I was the only one left at home. And this is in Plymouth. And that was the sailor's hat. Now, we lived in an area where it was a Navy port area city, and that was my late brother's bedroom, where the window would pull up, and that was the first design. I mean, we're talking about the late 70s, and all these years recent now, it was only designed these houses up in this area, with these windows pulled up, and still quite fashionable. And these houses were built for the Army and Navy, and they were built into a hillside, and they were split level. So that window was my brother's, and the other window next to this back door, the back garden was up on a hill and slanted, and we still was able to grow food. And so my lovely view from my bedroom of a window like that was over the river, and beautiful stars in the sky. And that's when I started getting interest in weather and the stars and photography at a young age. And obviously, when I used to go travelling and I left college and got my first job, I started meeting, obviously had a neighbour, she was meeting all sorts of people, bless her heart, she's a couple of years older. And I got to know somebody, he's my first boyfriend, and he was a sailor. And what's that song? I Am Sailing. I always remember that because my boyfriend went out on his job on a ship on the port up on the harbour. I was on leave. That's when I was working in a hotel in the top penthouse restaurant, and I saw his ship going out of the harbour. And I always remember that song came on in the 10-9 system. And I was serving a bunch of well-known Manchester United football team at the time. I was a young, innocent 16-year-old. And they took the pee out me. I'll never forget that, all those years ago. And but that was my training. Started off hotel management. I was doing a course at college, hotel management courses. And my day release would be in a hotel, and then I eventually got a position in the well-known hotel chain, and that's when I started working in. And then I worked in the summer in the areas in a beautiful, beautiful part of the coastline, and it was a Bigby Island, I think it's called, and it was a hotel on the island. It was famous. I can't remember now, looking at the history of it. But yeah, those were happy days. Completely different. Anyway, and that's, yeah, I don't know where that was taken. And Mum, I didn't realise, I really thought for many years when Mum hated me because I left the church, and she never really did, which I know now. And it's just nice to look back at the things. This was my brother, my late brother. It's a shame that things changed as he got older and the way he is now, but he means well deep down in his heart, I know that, but it's the things and what's gone on in his life all these years that's affected him. And that was his girlfriend at the time. Now this, me, a young girl, this was our trip, a famous, look at the old Star car Mini. This was really, really long time ago, as you could tell, and this was a typical famous Cornish clotted cream on Cornish ice cream. So yeah, being a natural Celt and Cornish, born and bred with the pasties and all that, I've got all that talent. It's just a physical ability now to do that. One day I might be able to get back to that. Now this is how my best friend and I were close. Beautiful seaside and countryside. We went for walks all the time. So, never realised my mum had all these beautiful photographs. And didn't like the jeans, mind you, but the heather and the blackberry picking in the countryside. You look about the history in Cornwall. any kind of countryside, and if you can do your genealogy, it's interesting, it really is. But yeah, my mum, my late mum, and I don't know where this was, but I remember that day was very hot, and I don't know why. I think whether I was babysitting or help looking after someone's baby in their pram. And I think Mum was helping, and I used to be in Girls' Brigade all those years ago, mind you, and I got all my qualifications. I don't know where the badges went, but I did all the first aid courses and everything. It's amazing what you forget. But look at the old rocks and the old wrose, beautiful, and it was a really, really hot time. I thank my brother for this because he gave me these photos. And this is my sister, my elder sister. I didn't even know the hairstyle she had. You won't believe what she's gone through all these years either, and the homemade stuff. See, even all this stuff all these years. Tea time would be the sandwiches, the chocolate peanut butter, the jam. And it's amazing what you learn as a kid and how you raise your own kids, and the old-fashioned cutlery. My mum did her best, and that's when she started again doing the Avon stuff. So my sister, bless her heart, my other sister, they went to America as nannies. That was like, you go to college, do nanny course, get a job, get sponsored, get a job in America, and find a husband and get married. That was the Mormon way. But I don't know, I had a spirit, independent spirit, and I went to college, met people that weren't religious, and I don't know, my experiences of certain things that happened in the family led me out of the religion and led me a complete different path, completely different. And I didn't go into nanny course. I went into hotel management, and then I went and worked in various different places into life itself. So I got my qualifications at college and went off. And yeah. So if my mum hadn't decided she wanted to move, and she had the opportunity to get a job as a place over in Canada as a housekeeper, she sold up and moved, and the only place that I would able to go at a young age was up in my area now. All those years ago, my older brother at the time had married in London, went to university, met his wife there all those years ago, and that's how I ended up here. And I've been here ever since. And I've travelled away to different places, and you get used to a place. And that's why it's difficult now in my situation and things I've gone through. But you never forget the upbringings, and in a way, the death of my mum's helped me to see the positivity in what I would like to try and achieve this year. Now, there's a lot of targeting going on towards me in many areas, which I can't go into. But as you get older, you don't realise what you can really appreciate in life, which I thank goodness I see that now. So whether or not I most probably won't see the brooch of my mum, and I don't think the police will do anything because they're going to try and imply that it just come off my coat, which I know it didn't. I know what happened. That's the main thing. The main thing is I got memories. I appreciate the police, what they're trying to do, but I know, but I won't be able to do a statement. There's no point. So let me give you some interesting one. This is the Mormons' head office, Salt Lake City, Utah, America. And this is amazing. Let's see if I can zoom on this one. So that's my late mum for you. And I am in her arms as a baby. This before she joined the Mormon church. She did not join the Mormon church till after I was born. And you have we were the first family in St. Austell to be members of the Mormon church. That's my brother. I don't know who the other friend, I think they're friends. And we had an outing, and I think a couple of these guys could have been missionaries. and this was at Land's End, further point of South Cornwall. And can't see, that was me, so I think that's Jen or Sharon. Can't remember. But I know the rest of them. I remember. It's funny how you remember things. But gosh, I was 64 I was born. So I think I could have been 18 months there. But my mum always did her best. I do appreciate it growing up. So it's funny how that, but this is how I found. It's a difficult time, Christmas and New Year, for a lot of people, but especially for me for a lot of reasons. And this is the very old Christmas card. Extremely old. And what I found in this really helped me get through this past year. And this is from my former best friends, Gail, Melanie and Timothy. And I found this recently. And this did help me get through this difficult time. I don't know how I would have got through this Christmas, New Year, especially what happened recently. And look at that year, August 1972. So this family were well off at the time. That's me in the middle. My mum made the headband. Beautiful dog. I've always been into animals. And so my best friend sitting next to me on the floor, their family were a lovely family. I don't think they were church people, but they lived on the top of a hill, very expensive house, and we used to go walks along there. And of course, we got to know them, and my mum did. And we were invited round to get to know them. 1972. So I didn't know my mum had this. And then all these old cards with photographs in that. I don't know what photographs in that one. Spending time to show you my former life. So there you go. Evidence of life, birth, and my mother. There was taken my mum's 8 months handwriting. So, little old me, eh? And it was given to me. Well, actually, it was given to my mum's gran, who passed away in 2008. And it says to gran with lots of her from. And it was signed as me, but I didn't know mum sended it to her mum. This is what my mum was like. Despite her problems, her family upbringing, she made an effort, so we got to know our gran. She used to travel as we got older to go back to see her gran a lot of the times. And I didn't know about all this until after. And so sometimes you forgive. It's very hard to forgive those transgressed against you. And again, this is a school photograph. And I know I was not very good at English and maths. And not very good at spelling. And I was aged 6 years and 2 months. And this was taken in Cornwall. I was very good at sports though. I always was very athletic and artistic. I wasn't very good and musical. I wasn't very good in reading and the writing and spelling of things. And when I was younger, but my mum took an effort and made, look at the old glasses there. So as I said, I never knew my mum had all these collection of photographs. And this is the best one, I think, in a way, because it remembers how close my sister and I used to be before. Things changed when she was 14. I knew now why she was so more dependent and clingy to my mum when she was 14, and I wanted to please my mum. And I noticed even at an early age about that. This is one of our trips on the beach, and he kept stuffing my face eating a jam sandwich, peanut butter sandwich his mum would make us. And sometimes you don't appreciate your family members, and you're growing up close to them until you get older and they have family of their own and they get on with life. But I know deep down what my sister, my natural sister, has gone through. I know all this now. It's only taken many years to realise this, by the way, on my own. And also my ex-army brother, how he joined the army. He was kicked out of the house where we used to live years ago because he mixed with the wrong crowd, and Mum thought it was the best for him to join the army. Things happened to him. I can't go into it all because obviously being in the British Army, he can't say much about it, but he did confide in me a few things many years ago. And there's a lot of reasons why he fell out with my mum. He didn't go to my mum's funeral. There's reasons behind all that too. Because he blamed her for pushing him into the British Army. But the thing is, the day I remember a bunch of really rough motorbike gang, people motorbikes, it's not that bad these days, but them days it was when they came to the house looking for him. And my mum got so fed up that my older brother was able to try and help my elder half brother, was able to help my natural brother. So off he went to the army. But all these years on, he had a lot of trouble over the years, and it's only because of certain effects, what he saw and what he did in the army. But they gave him a lot of discipline and training. And because of what happened, he's still being closer to my older brother, and now we're in business, of course. But he's always been looking out for me. But in a way, my elder brother and me, that is not being an adult man, right? They had tried their best behind the scenes, and their connections all these years have always been watching out for me behind the scenes. I know that and who they're connected to now. In my area especially, I know what they've been doing and why they've got to my daughter at her age and what they did, and now my adult son and my own family. I know why now. So I forgive them. It's serious stuff they've done, and I forgive them. If you don't have forgiveness in your heart, you're just going to eat away and get yourself ill. And I forgive all those that still transgress against me, because life on this earth is very short, and that's what I've learned from the death of my mum. So there's little old me. Beautiful beaches in them days. So I really don't know what it's like now. I did have all my own teeth one time, and as I said, I had that image, that modelling image, and that's, I don't know what year was that, but, and the old earrings, no glasses at the time, I had good eyesight, and, yeah, just always had good skin and just that image, I suppose. And it's a shame that all my teeth started going bad, and I was always into the gym and working out and fitness and health, and be aware of anybody who does that, because your knees start wearing out. And I did not know I had a certain medical condition when I had my children. It took forever to get the diagnosis of a certain condition and why I couldn't have children naturally the way I had them. And then I was on medication. So I'm not saying all medication damages your teeth, but be careful. But anyway, that's that. I never had a book, How to Raise Children. I made my mistakes. I never harmed them, ever. And it's just, I needed a lot of help. And that was my daughter. Beautiful baby. And I thank my elder sister-in-law at the time, because I actually moved. I was living with them when I had her, but what transpired and what they said and what they were doing, things behind the scenes, was the reason for it. Because in the church, you have a child out of their system, the way they don't approve, then you're just blacklisted for the whole family, black sheep. And absolutely shouldn't be, but that's, I don't know how it is now, but all those years ago, that's how I was treated, because I met somebody when I used to work, and he was my daughter's dad, you know, and then you just get on in life, you struggle, you don't know how to run your first house. My first house, oh my goodness me, I didn't know what I was doing, but I'd appreciate now what my elder brother and sister-in-law tried to do, and my elder sister. It was difficult because my elder sister married into money, and she didn't know what it was like. She was just remembering what my late mum taught us, and I didn't go that route, so I was the odd one out. I'm going to keep this short. That was my sister always reading books. And even when we had nothing, my late mum made sure we had something at Christmas and birthdays and stuff. And my old shoes. And my mum's always into plants and making the curtains. And, oh my Lord. Oh my gosh, I just recognised that. I wonder why my sister at my mum's funeral gave me that. I've got that now. It is a square, although it's on the back or there. Exactly, this is what my sister Jan's had all these years. And I knew she cares deep down, despite what she's had to go through. And she's had to go through so much personally as my older half-sister. And I didn't recognise that in the picture before till today. And I wondered why she gave it to me. I've got mum's late shore. You know, my mum made that by hand. So, regardless, I've lost the brooch now of that theft of what happened to me in the street. At least I got that. Wow. Thank you, Jan. And that's her in the late 70s reading a book and story to me. Even though I didn't listen that much. In our home years ago. There we go. My gosh. I'll keep that one aside. Shout out to my sister Jan, who's going through hard times because her husband's late father passed away recently, so they're going through a hard time. I wonder why that's given to me at my mum's funeral. That's lovely. It's amazing. Something perhaps prompted me to do a thing. This was my daughter years ago. And sitting next to me, I think that was either my older sister or my sister-in-law, I'm not sure, because I can't see the top of it. These were people that my mum used to have out. They lived at the road in Cornwall, UK, where we used to live. And she was always was friends with their mother. So these two girls, I used to give them food and sweets to help them out. And they were having hard times. So that was my mum's nature all along. Yeah, get me to do the chores. Couple of last ones and then I've got to go. This is when we visited I think it's my elder brother's wedding in London. Trafalgar Square. No date on it. And it's my sister. Couple in pigeons. And look at me. My mum taking the picture. And you could see the flowers in the 70s. That was my brother's wedding as we visited. I remember that one. And of course, my brother and me, my natural brother Pete. Shame the way he turned out, but he is absolutely, he's always into music. My mum hated the music he used to play. But when my elder brother moved out and went to college and university, whatever they call it in London, my brother's always into his music and everything. And sunbathing with all the beautiful beaches in Cornwall. So just going to end that there, and the last up-to-date picture really of my late mum. Always into, this is years old, she did her best for everybody. I didn't appreciate that. This is in the modern church, and all these years ago, always the family lady. And then obviously I think some of these photographs that she appreciated, I made sure my kids, as they got older, knew their gran. And my mum used to take pictures of me. I can't remember where that was taken. Very short hair. I don't even know. I think that could have been in the early 80s. I was so skinny and thin soon after I had my second child. And I don't know why my hair was so short. But anyway, it's amazing. You can't take away the memories. You know, you do the best by your own flesh and blood, and that's all you can do. And I appreciate the efforts of the public servants, what they do try to do. But unfortunately, when you got just mindless individuals have no idea what you're about, they're just going to trash your character constantly, like they've done over all my life. My adult life, as I got into other areas in life. You know, you go down rabbit holes and you come out of it and you try again, and you know, nothing's perfect in life. You just do the best you can. And as I've learnt now, it's much harder, obviously, with things the way they are, and it's going to get tougher 2019. But if I can just persevere, as my mum did her best, the basics she tried her best on. It's not going to be easy for none of us, especially with my situation now. But I know they're going to try and turn this back on me and say, oh, you this, you that. I don't really give a monkey's anymore, because I know what's just and what's right and what's what. And so it was very hard to receive the card that I gave my late mum. Turn this back round. Tom's getting on. This is on my mum's 60th birthday. There's money. She was always a family lady. She's always a family lady. Just unfortunate. I didn't appreciate when my kids were little, and as they got older. And the last card I sent to Mum, 2015 on Mother's Day, and I got it back on a funeral with a note. Well, my daughter lives in Milton Keynes, and I used to send pictures to my daughter, and she was interested in the pictures I sent. She sent to Gran, but I already sent them to Gran, which is my mum and late mum. And in this card I had of my late mum was my daughter's address where she lives. So at the funeral, my daughter didn't want to know me. I don't know, it's just the way the psychological, I don't know what goes on behind the scenes. It's just the way that she is. I'm part of the Mormons anymore. My daughter's heavily into it. She never used to be, because I'm going to show you a picture. My son and daughter never used to be interested. And that was my first grandson. And before I got ill myself, physically disabled, it's a long time ago. And before my son met his first partner, before we had his kids. And they were just ordinary, you know. One was not interested in any of the church outside the building where we were there, visiting in a family's wedding. And just as a family, and that's been destroyed. All of my own family's been destroyed by my own family members. It's my older brother that's done that. Thanks, Doug. And he thought he was doing as best he could. And I was extremely close years ago as well with my son. And I just had an ordinary life, ordinary photos, had an ordinary life, did the best I could. And I've got evidence here behind everything all these years, splitting up my own family, my grandkids, so I don't see them at all for years. That's been since 2013. I've got videos, evidence of this, of when she used to visit me and my son. My son did his best, by the way, with his beautiful wife and my grandchildren, my granddaughter, 2017, beginning of the 18 year. And that's the last time we were that close. So it's a shame when people lie about your character, your personality. So what, I had a public profile years ago. I just got on with life. And you just make, life is life, you just make some mistakes and you just try, and as you get older, you don't expect things to happen in your life and you just learn to try and move on. And that's all I've been trying to forgive and move on. So one day, whatever's going on with my son's head, because at that funeral, he didn't want to know. He's never asked how I am. Same with my daughter. And they're much older and they look different now. And their families of their own. So one day, I hope they'll wake up and realise what's important. I do, much more now than I ever used to. So I don't agree with everything that's going on in all when you wake up subject. I don't agree with a lot of stuff that's been going on. But I can't hold grudges, and I don't try not to do that anymore. So I'm going to get some copies of these photos when I can afford it done and send it off to my daughter. And I'm just going to show you my late card, my last card I sent to my mum's Mother's Day. For you, Mum, always in my heart. And for those that are struggling, you no longer have your contact with your family the way you'd like to. You know, you only get one chance in life, and you can't always make it up. Or those family members don't want to know. You just can't let it get to you. It's very difficult because otherwise your mind, the effect of losing family members and your own is hard, and you just need to try and make best of your situation. It's difficult as it is. So God bless everybody, keep safe. Prayers with you. And for those who are trying their best in public services, frontline services, no disrespect, you are trying, but I know I will not be offering any statement at all, and an email will be getting out about that, and I'll just say, well, believe that that individual didn't steal it off me, but that 5G camera did catch a guy reaching out to me, and it's the same all these years. Everything that's ever happened to me, and I report the serious stuff that's happened to me, nothing ever gets done. They always turn it back on me, and I know what's behind all this now, and I don't hold no grudges. That's life, and my mum's taught me better than this. So in memory of my late mum, for those that are struggling, losing family members, just take what's right. Trust in your gut. Don't think, just trust in your gut instinct. Because we're constantly bombarded in modern age nowadays. And it is a trying times for people for all different walks of life. God bless everybody. I'm just sharing my life. And the next chapter now is going to be difficult, but I know I'll be in a better place one day. Not just yet, but one day. And I know there's a lot to happen this forthcoming year, moving forward. This channel has started off about the weather modification, the subject of weather, housing, disrepair, and all this stuff going on, and then death of my mum. So I'm starting off this new year. Remembrance of those that have tried to assist, those that have been negligent, those that have harmed, those that have let me down, those what I've done and what I've tried to rectify, and I'm just going to be true to myself. And God bless everybody, keep safe, and this is just my life. And now its next journey is going to be a bumpy one, and I'm just going to take it as it comes. It's a beautiful card, and it is precious, your family, but unfortunately, if you don't have the closeness of them anymore, whatever's gone on, you need to concentrate on yourself. You're not being selfish, you need to put things what's right in your life, you know, to move forward in the whatever, how that can be. And one day, maybe, my own family members may wake up, who knows. I'm giving them their space to realise in their own time. I hope this might help somebody to heal if they're going through a lot of pain and suffering. You know, there's all that going on in the bigger other subjects too, I know. But I've still got a lot to do and to trying to manage like anybody. But signing out for UK is only me trying again. Take care.